Welcome to Divine Living with Purpose. I'm your host, Alicia, and I'm so glad you're here. This is a space for real talk, for soul work, and for aligning your life with purpose, faith, and clarity, especially when things feel messy. You know, there are seasons in life when it feels like the world around us is trying to rename us. We enter a new space, a new job, a new relationship, a new city, a crisis, and suddenly it's like, who am I again? Why am I here? And am I still who God says I am, even when I don't feel like it? If you've ever felt that way, if you've ever felt misplaced, mislabeled, or misunderstood, then today's episode is especially for you. We're talking about identity under pressure and how to hold on to your truth when the world around you wants to redefine it. Let's go back to the story of Daniel, but I want to tell it like a story, not a study. Daniel was just a teenager, maybe 15 or 16 years old, when his life was completely turned upside down. Jerusalem had been invaded by Babylon, this powerful pagan empire, and Daniel, along with a few others, were taken captive, not just as a prisoner, but as a chosen one. The king only took the best, the brightest, the strongest, the ones who had potential. Now imagine this: one day you're in your community, surrounded by your culture, your people, your faith, and the next you're plucked out and placed in an environment where nobody worships your God, where you don't speak the language, where you're being trained, not just educated, but reprogrammed, where they even change your name. Daniel's name meant God is my judge, but they renamed him Belteshazzar, which honored a foreign god. Do you see the message in that? They didn't just take his body, they tried to erase his identity. They tried to give him a new culture, a new religion, a new way of thinking. This wasn't just exile, this was indoctrination. And Daniel, this teenager, he had to decide, will I conform or will I stand? Now let's bring that into our world. Maybe you haven't been dragged into Babylon, but maybe life has pulled you into a place where everything feels foreign. You stepped into a new role that's stretching you. You moved to a new city where nobody knows your story. You're surrounded by people who don't share your values. Or maybe you're facing pressure to be someone else just to survive. You start to feel the nudge to downplay your faith, to silence your convictions, to settle, to shrink, to shift, just to fit in. And it doesn't always come with a big announcement. Sometimes the remaining and the renaming is subtle. You're too emotional. You're not qualified. You're just a single mom. You're divorced. You're too old. You don't even have kids. You're too young. You're just average. But let me speak life over you right now. You're not what the world calls you. You are who God says you are. And you don't have to accept every label life tries to hand you. Daniel could have said, this is just how it is now. I'll go along. But instead he decided, I will not defile myself. Now this part amazes me. Daniel didn't lead a revolution. He didn't make a scene. He simply made a request. Can I please eat differently? See, even what they fed him was meant to change him. They gave him food from the king's table, rich, unclean food that went against his beliefs. Daniel respectfully asked the chief official for permission to eat vegetables and drink water instead. The official was hesitant. He was afraid Daniel would look weak and the king would punish him. But Daniel said, test us. Give us 10 days. Now, y'all, that's faith. Not faith that screams, but faith that stands. Faith that doesn't need attention, but makes an impact. And what happened? After 10 days, Daniel and his friends looked healthier, stronger, and more vibrant than everyone else because of just that one decision, that act of quiet obedience. They gained favor and influence. Maybe you're in a place where you feel the pressure to conform, to lose your voice, your values, your God-given identity. Maybe life has renamed you through disappointment, trauma, or transition. But hear me. You don't have to settle. You don't have to shrink. You can choose quiet obedience, and you can honor your convictions in a culture of compromise. Like Daniel, your faith doesn't have to be loud to be powerful. Here are 3 practical takeaways. Number 1, practice small obedience. Start where you are, one decision at a time. Integrity doesn't start in crisis, it starts in daily discipline. Number 2, remember who you are. God named you before anyone else had the chance. You are loved, you are chosen, you are called, and you are equipped. Number 3, let favor find you. When you walk in obedience, God will open doors no title, no name tag, or platform ever could. Before we close, I want you to sit with a few questions. You might journal these later or just ponder on them during your week. Where am I being pressured to conform? What names or labels am I carrying that God never gave me? What does obedience look like for me right now in this environment with these people? Let's speak this truth together. I am who God says I am. I will not be renamed by the world. I choose obedience over approval, and I trust that God will meet me in the test. Here's a verse to carry with you this week. Romans 12:2. Do not be conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you may discern the good, pleasing, and perfect will of God. This week, choose renewal over renaming. That's it for today. Thank you for joining me on Divine Living with Purpose. If this episode encouraged you, would you do me a favor? Share it with someone who needs a reminder of their worth. And make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next episode in this series, Faith Under Pressure. Next week, we're diving into Faithful in a Foreign Land, how to navigate environments that don't reflect your values without losing your faith. Until then, keep showing up. Stay rooted, stay resilient, stay faithful, because transformation begins where willingness meets support.